Hi everyone, welcome to Dharma Earth's Dose of Dharma, and this is your Dose of Dharma for today. So we're talking about the Q&A for righteous conduct, and the question was, what about the previous unrighteous conduct that we did, right? What should we do about it? So the last talk we talked about the Lonappala Sutta, which is a lump of salt discourse in the Anguttara Nikaya, chapters of Peace, the Sutta number 100. So today I want to bring up another sutta that the Buddha says in regards to this question about not feeling remorse over our past unwholesome deeds. And what is the Buddhist view about that, and how do we practice it? So this sutta that I'm going to introduce today is from the Samyutta Nikaya. It's from the 42 Samyutta, and sutta number 8, the couch sutta. Couch means like, the shell or some seashell, some kind of a big seashell like that. Couch, I think. Okay, so the sutta is quite long. I will just take out a part of it. If you guys are interested, please go and read the sutta. So, in regards to unwholesome deeds done in the past, so what can we learn from this sutta? So in this sutta, the Buddha says, the Buddha arises in the world, and the Buddha criticizes and censures the destructions of life, and criticizes and censures the taking of what is not given, criticizes and censures sexual misconduct, criticizes and censures the false speech and the different kinds of wrong speech, Yeah. So the Buddha says, I think this is very, very important. So please listen. The Buddha says, then a disciple has full confidence in that teacher. He reflects thus. In many ways, the Blessed One criticizes and censures the destruction of life, and he says, abstain from the destruction of life. Now, I have destroyed life to such and such an extent. That wasn't proper. That wasn't good. But though I feel regret over this, that evil deed of mine cannot be undone. Having reflected thus, he abandons the destruction of life, and he abstains from the destruction of life in the future. Thus, there comes about the abandoning of that evil deed. Thus, there comes about the transcending of that evil deed. And the same for the rest of the precepts. So, what can we learn from this? First, you see this passage. The Buddha says, okay, the Buddha criticizes and censures the destruction of life. But, I have destroyed life in the past to such and such an extent. Then the next one is important. They acknowledge it. That wasn't proper. That wasn't good. So in the mind and in the heart, they know that it is not good, according to the Buddha's teachings. But the important thing is, you see, the next line. But though I feel regret over this, that evil deed of mine cannot be undone. So, in Theravada Buddhism, in our teachings of Buddha, whatever has been done cannot be undone. The karma has been created already. But how do we transcend it? So there comes the next line. Having reflected thus, he abandons the destruction of life, and he abstains from the destructions of life in the future. And by doing this, there comes about the abandoning of the evil deed, and comes about the transcending of that evil deed. So how do we practice this instruction of the Buddha so that we can abandon that evil deed and transcend that evil deed that we done in the past? Well, basically, it is whatever that we have done in the past. Okay, what has been done. Now and in the future, I'm not going to do it anymore. So I abandon it. I abstain from that unwholesome deed, and this is how we overcome it. In this sutta, if you guys observe, you will be following the principle behind the Lonappala Sutta. which was the sharing that I gave before this, which is by abstaining from evil deeds, then what do? We abstain from taking life, from killing. Then we are actually accumulating that abstinence, that restraint creates a lot of wholesome karma. And because of this wholesome accumulation of wholesome karma, then your pool of water gets bigger and bigger, bigger and bigger. From a small pond, it becomes an Olympic-sized swimming pool, and from an Olympic-sized swimming pool, it becomes a natural lake. And hopefully it becomes to one of the biggest lake in the world, So you see, if we have remorse, even if we feel regret, and we have a lot of regret over it, we feel a lot of remorse over it, but it cannot be undone by feeling regretful or by remorse. But it can be transcended and abandoned by abandoning that unwholesome action or speech or mind and abstaining from it in the future. Alright? And this is how we accumulate our pool of water. So what has been done in the past has been done. The 10 kg of salt has been there, is there already. But just continue to work on the now and the future and abstain from all these unwholesome deeds. Then we will be able to abandon it and transcend it in the future. Right? So the Buddhist viewpoint, feeling remorse and negative emotions about unwholesome deeds done in the past is not what the Buddha advocates. Okay? Because you will just create more unwholesome karma. But instead, if we change our mind from being problem-minded to solution-minded, we focus on building the water and not keep brooding over the salt. And because of the brooding over the salt, we generate more salt. We try to avoid that. Try to avoid building more salt, creating more salt. But instead, we focus on building up the water. Building up the water and also developing your lake into one of the biggest lake in the planet Earth. Then that's the way we overcome it. Alright? So I hope this sharing will be able to help you guys to get over remorse over the unwholesome deeds, no matter how silly you have been, no matter how vicious you have been in the past. If now and in the future you abstain from it, you abandon that unwholesome character, you abandon that unwholesome deed, you abstain from the unwholesome deed in the now and in the future. And as you accumulate and this abstinence and this restraint, then your pool of water will get bigger and bigger, bigger and bigger, and you may be able to overcome and transcend it. Alright? So this is the way. This is the way we overcome unwholesome deeds in the past, and this is the way we face unwholesome deeds that we have done in the past, and this is the way that we transcend the unwholesome deeds that we have done in the past. Okay, so with this, I hope this discourse is beneficial to all of you, and I wish all of you to be well, peaceful, and happy, and may the Triple Gem bless all of us to be able to attain path, fruition, and nirvana as soon as possible. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.